say about him. And when we started working together years ago, and that was when he first became a contributor of the show, before I sprang the idea on him, hey, Dwayne, you should have your own show. And he does, and we're so proud of him and how well that's gone. But, you know, this fella had trouble getting a refi on his house and had some unique situations about the house, and I guess maybe that scared some lenders. And I said, you know, I know who you can call, because a lot of them, you know, there's like ducks swimming around in a circle, but old Dwayne, he's an eagle. If there's a way to get it done, he will figure it out. And you've done that for so many people, and that's something consistent about you, Dwayne. So welcome back to the show.
Thanks, sir.
And we always appreciate your contribution to the show. 30-year mortgages. So we're at what? You said 4.25?
Yeah, 4.18. So just to give you an idea, hey, when I went on February 5th, it was 3.85. Right? January 8th, it was 3.50. So you're looking at one of the things, Gregory, we explain, and you know, and you understand this, and I want to make sure the listeners understand this, is, you know, the last 2 years has caused a lot of people kind of procrastinate, like, let's think about it. Let's see if we can get there. Do we want to refinance? Do we want to fix up the house? Do we want to buy? Well, the rates were fine. Now we're back to where really they were pre-pandemic. So while the rates are higher, and if you compare them, right, to, nobody wants to hear about historical, right, because nobody cares what their mom and dad paid and walked to school in the snow in the 60s and 70s and all that, right? So
yeah, well, what about Carter? What did they pay them?
Yeah, look,
nobody.
No,
that's in the past.
Right, nobody cares. So what's everybody do? They go, well, let's look at the glass. That would be glass half full if you went, we're still near all-time historical lows. But what most people are looking at, well, hey, we're at 2-year highs now, right? Well, yeah, you are. But at the same time, do you still have opportunity? And Gregory, I know you deal with this all the time, and I've had the conversations with Nicholas and some of your advisors too, is, hey, did I miss the boat? You know, 2 years ago when the pandemic hit, I immediately, you know, hey, what does Gregory know? He's only a Hall of Fame financial advisor that I trust with all my money. I'm going to go ahead and move everything over to cash. And then, my gosh, as Nicholas explained, you know, there's only so many days that when you recoup that stuff, and it's something you talk about it all the time. Like if you've missed 20 days over the last 40 years, you missed a certain percentage or whatever that number was. And, you know, what I'm trying to get people to just understand is that boat, that people like, did I miss the boat? Well, if you weren't prepared to buy a refinance in the last 2 years, what boat did you really miss, right? I mean, if you were a college student or your credit wasn't where it was, or you didn't have down payment, or you wasn't qualified, why are we comparing to things that weren't even an option is kind of what I'm trying to help people understand. So and that's where this fear is coming in, I'm seeing, when it comes to the refinancing. The purchases, I haven't seen it yet, just simply because now competition, people are getting pre-approved, and people are kind of maybe sitting on the sideline, but I'm explaining to my buyers, this just opens up opportunity, because maybe there's not 20 people that are going through the house anymore. Maybe there's 8. Well, that gives you a better opportunity, right, than last year when you had people paying above asking and doing all those type of things. So it's just trying to get that education out there. But, yeah, the rates, look, they're up. They are. And will they go down a little? Look, if this thing really gets worse in Ukraine, will we see them dip a little bit? I don't know. Look, what Wednesday, Gregory, the stock market opened up like down 800, 900 points. By the end of the day, it was 2. The 10-year Treasury had dropped like 4 or 5 points earlier in the day. By the end of the day, it was back to even, and I'm just scratching my head going, all right, here's that strife we talk about. But then it seemed like everything leveled out, right? Oil prices kind of actually came down and went back up, and it's just confusing right now. And I think if Russia, unfortunately, we know Russia's bigger than Ukraine, right? That's no secret. So if they do decide to go all out, then maybe we will see a little bit of a decrease in rate. But I don't think it's going to be – it's not going to be something, and I'm trying to explain to people, it's not like we're going to go from 4.18 to 2.99 again. You're not going to see that.
Yeah, this week we saw it kind of pitch just above 2% on the 10-year Treasury, so that means your mortgage rate was probably slightly higher at times depending on when there's a lock. So where are we at on a 15-year?
15's at 3.44. So
okay, but that makes the payment go up quite a bit.
A ton. And one of the things and that's where, like we mentioned before the break, that's why you don't have to not buy the house. Let's look at options, right? So maybe the 15-year is going to make it where you can't afford that house. Let's look at a 30-year and maybe do bi-weekly, as we've talked about on your show so many times. Take advantage of that by cutting your term down. And do that instead of go get that 15-year note and then, if we're riding horse and buggies in 2 years, then you go, what can I do? At least you always have that lower note you could always fall back on till you can regroup and gather yourself.
Yeah, and we talked about this last time you were on the show, like 15 versus 30.
Yeah.
And okay, it's costing you more in interest, but going to 15, you get a lower rate, but you're paying a bigger payment.
Huge.
Is that, here's a question, and don't answer it for me yet,
okay.
But is that worth the flexibility, paying a bit more in interest, that you have a lower payment, you can prepay it and treat it like it's a 15 or a 20, and if things get tough, you could go back. In essence, you've also paid ahead in that manner, by paying extra to treat it like it's a 15. And one thing neat about mortgages, and 30-year is also creates, maybe you can do that, and also it enables you, maybe instead of paying ahead, start investing for the future. Yep. Savings for retirement, build up a fat emergency account from that. But a neat thing about mortgages, it's a one-way street. The bank can't say, we're not liking this rate, we need to redo this thing.
Right.
No, you've locked them in.
Yep.
But you get to say, I can get a better deal. I'm refining this thing. I can do cash out, or I've paid it down, but let's do a 30-year from this point. That's a neat thing about mortgages that we have out there, that you have options. And I still think we go 10 years down the road, you're going to look back and say, yeah, those were the good old days at 4%. We've said this before,
right? But
we know the Fed's wanting to raise interest rates. Now, your comments regarding the war and what might that impact on the Fed, if anything, the Fed's got two situations now. Inflation coming, inflation here and inflation continuing. Now we have this disruption in Europe that's going to be with us for a while. Does that slow them down a little bit? I still think we get a hike next month, honestly, but I think it's going to be less than what they were probably going to do. Your thought?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you. I was pretty much on the sideline, on the side of the 0.5%. I think you're probably looking at more of a quarter. I can't imagine, no matter what your political beliefs are, having to deal with everything that the president's having to deal with right now, right? And all this hitting at the same time, and everybody could go, well, this or that. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, you've got inflation, right? And people are like, well, shouldn't the rates drop, right? That's all you've talked about, world strife, and hey, here we've got this and that. We've got inflation. Shouldn't it drop? Here's the thing. You still have low inventory, right? And what do you also have? You have people that were on forbearance for a long time, right? And regardless of whatever it is and what the 10-year Treasury shows, people want their money back. And we talked about it for years. They're going to get their money back one way or the other. So, are they willing to go, all right, let's give that back right now, or let us collect a little bit of what we've been losing in forbearances the last couple of years, not being able to collect the payment? You're listening to Winning at Life, live financial news talk radio.
We'll be back in a couple minutes.
You all are so good. I've listened to you for years.
Ask Gregory is a financial podcast from the guys who bring you Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks.
I am near retirement, and I wish I would have been listening to y'all for the last couple of years.
Learn the ins, outs, do's, don'ts, rules, and tools of the financial world.
I have a broker. He has no idea what you and I just talked about.
From your 401k to your IRA to your pension to your Social Security to your Medicare.
Hi, Greg. Appreciate your service to the community.
From your ETFs to your precious metals.
The program helps to ground me. There's some personal, real life there.
Find the Ask Gregory podcast on the Winning at Life app, the iHeartRadio app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and wherever else you can find podcasts probably.
That's exactly what I needed to know.
Hey, I love your show.
Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. The firm is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Take back control of your retirement. I'm Gregory Ricks. Join me at Keith Young's Steakhouse for a wine, wisdom, and food experience. Tuesday, March 29th, or Thursday, March 31st at 6:30. We'll have great food, wine, and talk about strategies to help you win at retirement. GregoryRicks.com to reserve your seat or call the office, 985-200-3110.
Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
If you like money, you'll love the Winning at Life app. On the Winning at Life app, you can listen to the show live 6 days a week. And if we're not on at the moment, you can hear a replay of the latest episode of Winning at Life. Whether you're getting a late start on your retirement savings or keeping up with the financial news, Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks is there on demand. Hear the Winning at Life show on the Winning at Life app, your wallet's favorite app.
Most people think of Crime Stoppers as only a tip reporting line, but we're so much more. Crime Stoppers G&O has worked in our area schools, offering prevention presentations on trending topics from drugs, bullying, online safety, suicide prevention, and much more. And we have a high school teen leadership program which provides students with a first-hand look at the criminal justice profession as a future career, while learning to be an advocate for their fellow students. So to learn more, visit safeschoolsla.com or call 504-837-8477.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. New reports of heavy fighting in and around Kiev.
Fighting erupted overnight inside the Ukrainian capital between the Ukrainian military and Russian forces who were making an offensive on this city. Significant escalation with small arms fire in the downtown area and Russian missiles slamming into buildings. One apartment building this morning took a direct hit. No one was killed, but it gives you a sense of just how violent these explosions can be. And even as we speak now, in the distance, there are explosions taking place, an indicator that this fighting is not over.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Kiev. Meanwhile, a senior Russian official says that his country may respond to Western sanctions by opting out of the last nuclear arms deal with the U.S., cutting ties with Western nations and freezing their assets. America is listening to Fox News.
Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks is a copyright of Down South Strategies for the private use of our audience. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without express consent is prohibited. For podcasts, show information, and contacts to our sponsors, go to winningatlife.com or download the Winning at Life app. If you have a financial situation and you're not quite sure what to do, you better call Gregory. We are Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks.
Yeah, the boys round here drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. This is Winning at Life, live financial news talk radio. I'm your host, Gregory Ricks. A little bit about me. I'm a founder and CEO of Gregory Ricks & Associates, the Total Wealth Authority. We help people make better decisions with their money, money managers, financial advisors with offices in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Mandeville, Louisiana, Metairie, Louisiana, and Gulfport, Mississippi. And if you're looking for some help, it's just one number to call to set up a visit at any office, or just to get a help with a situation that you're not sure what to do, you can call the office, start a conversation, or schedule a video meeting. It'll be a Zoom, password protected Zoom meeting, and you can call this number, 504-832-9200, 504-832-9200, or go to GregoryRicks.com. As far as the Winning at Life show, we've been doing this for almost a dozen years. And, hey, Dwayne,
yes, sir.
A host of Mortgage Gumbo, he's in the mortgage business. He's all over that area. How long has your show been on?
7.5 years. September will make 8 years. So,
well, congrats on the coming birthday.
You, that
is a big deal.
Could not have done it without you. That is for sure. So, owe it all to you, my man.
Well, you darn sure make it fun.
Thank you.
as well, and very passionate about what you do, and you've helped us a lot and clients as well over the years, and sharing with the public so that they learn more and that there's other options and different ways to get things done. And I've done a mortgage without Dwayne,